But so you get this period of expansion, and remember what we saw in the Quigley talks: expansion and contraction. And the elite can, from an economic perspective, manipulate the boom bust cycle. That's one thing that we saw Quigley cover. And Harmon's kind of, he's not exactly saying that. He's not saying it's anything conspiratorial, but he's just kind of glossing over these concepts, that idea. So we know that there's these manipulated boom bust cycles. And so he's kind of just surveying all this. And he says, look, now that we've had the controlled period of expansion, industrialization, growth, which was, he said, intentionally promoted, now we've got to have the contraction period. So you industrialize to have all this expansion, and then you contract. Expansion and contraction. By manipulation on purpose. And what this does is this can then cause it's like successive cycles and transferences of wealth. That's the key here. That's the trick. So when you have these periods of boom, there's a lot of wealth created. Then if you wreck it, what happens? Everything drops, prices drop. The elite who have a controlling share can come in and buy up everything at a fire sale price when everything collapses. Then you have the government step in, which is an arm of the elite, to socialize. And then the socialization ends up in a backdoor way, transferring the wealth of that, say, decade back to the elite. So it's a cycle that they do. This was the thing that really blew my mind in the Quigley chapter on FDR. That's how it works. It's not just a fiat currency conspiracy or whatever. There's decades of cycles of the economy that are long-term scams that are played. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what's so crazy. Nobody can figure that out, though. That's like way too over anybody's head. And goofy libertarians are all committed to their low-level, like one aspect angle of how economics works, and they can't conceive of that. They don't know what you're talking about. All they think is that FDR socialized everything. It was all great when it was privatized. Privatization and socialization are two arms of the same bird, Goofus. At the top, not at all levels, at the top. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Does that mean you can't start your own business? No. This is true for what's at the tip top, dude. I'm not talking about you and small businesses and medium business. That's not what I'm talking about. Mechanization and automatization, right? Well, I go into Kroger, and I don't have a person who waits on me anymore. I have to scan and talk to that stupid robot Kroger woman. Welcome, valued customer. Welcome, valued customer. Welcome, valued customer. It hurts my feelings because I know that robot woman is not being genuine. She does not actually care about me. I don't think she does. I don't really think she values me. So mechanization, cybernetics, rationalization of all culture, automatization will lead to unemployment. Well. What do you know, right? But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part of this is that what will happen in the future is that there will be a society. By the way, why is this thing? Oh, why can't things just work? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. The Streamlabs aren't showing up on the screen, but there are Streamlabs coming through. So anyway, but thank you guys for all those sweet, beautiful Streamlabs. They're much appreciated. My nose is itching from all that coca plant that I snorted before the show. People are like, how do you do your shows? Do the coca plant, man. Don't you know? My good friend, Pablo Escobar, he helps me start the streams. How do you do what you do? Pablo Escobar, he sends me a little gift. And he says, do your live streams, my friend. Do your live streams, my friend. Right, the commenter that usually does the super chats, Cholo, that's Pablo Escobar. Shout out to our friend Cholo. Many super chats. He's not sending super chats, dude. He's sending, you know what. Anyway, back to the crazy part. So payment processing is all going to be different in the future. Monetary situation, it's all going to be e-money, E. Shocker, right? He was right about that, wasn't he? Yes, he was. And he says that the e-currencies and the e-bucks, all of this will transition everybody into a version of e-welfare. Guess what he's talking about? Universal basic income. Now, what did I just tell you? The elite back in the FDR period, after the Depression, the FDR period comes in and socializes all the wealth and all the energy and man hours to, again, transfer, because guess who everybody was in debt to, according to Quigley, during the FDR period? All the money went back to the same bankers and elite who engineered the Depression. What a scam. But it was decades of scams. And do you goofuses who support this universal basic income, all these right-wing idiots supporting the universal basic income, do you actually, how dumb are you? You think that this is to help you have an income? Are you serious? Good grief. How dumb are you? What do you think welfare existed? It was to keep people at a subsistence level so that they couldn't build a business. Obviously. Everybody knows this. Cloward and Piven. But he says in the future, the UBI will accompany the welfare program. Now, by the way, I'm not saying that as a libertarian. Please stop thinking about things in such basic dialectics. I'm pointing out the big scale picture. I'm not trying to tell you to be a libertarian. I'm not trying to tell you to be a socialist. I'm not in any of those. I'm not in any of those. But he says, because I want your super chats. I want your super chats, right? Give me your super chats. I want your Trump bucks to go directly to my hedge fund. You will have to prove that you are worthwhile to the collective, he says, to get your UBI. Wow. Now, it doesn't just stop there. Anything that you want to do, whether it's get a job, go to school, to be brainwashed, will have to prove your social utility, social credit system in 1981. Look at that. Can you believe that? The UBI is the exact same as the social credit system in 1981. And anybody that you deserve what you get if you're that dumb to think that Zuck wants to give you $1 a day to help you subsist. You deserve what you get. So it says that the whole social sphere will be dominated by this system. Everything will be so needs will be based along with conditions, where whatever you get is not going to be based on like your personal, say, purchasing power or decisions in the marketplace. Do you understand that's going away? Okay. It's not that there won't be some kind of marketplace. It's that you're not going to have like free decisions and choices that you make in some market. It's going to be like breadline type stuff. Like you have to demonstrate the need to even get the thing. Austerity. So you won't get a car. You don't get a car because you don't need a car. The only people that need a car are the people who can demonstrate that they have the need for the car for the social utility. All right. So if you're going to be riding around as a tattletale, then you get a car. You don't get a cell phone unless you have a need for the collective for a cell phone. You see how that works? That's what he's saying. That's what is coming. Do you understand? This is what they planned for decades. This is not a quack. He is a quack, but he's not merely a quack. This is a high level top social engineer telling you in 1981 what is rolling out right now. Social credit based on social worth. Now, who decides what social worth is? What? You see. Social worth is determined on the basis of social utility. So it's not communism. That's another thing. It's kind of, sort of elements of communism, but it's not like straight up communism. So don't make that mistake, which it's not all wrong to say this is a bunch of communism. It's not exactly communism. It's not exactly fascism. It's not exactly democratic capitalism. It's elements of all those systems into one big stink garbage juice smoothie. So initially it says the enhancement income, right? So it's something like Trump bucks. The will be rolled out as an enhancement income. This is to get you used to it so that then it becomes a subsistence income. So the enhancement income will roll over, so they roll it out gradually. Notice how this is all rolled out gradually, preparing people. You see how this works? You're not dealing with dummies. You're dealing with weirdos and quacks and creepers, but they're not dumb. There's a sinister, dark logic that they have. And too many good-hearted, naive people don't think that people at the top are evil. And that's how all of this works. The end of this system is then an austerity based on tiny living. Tiny living. Tiny living. He was saying in 1981 they would bring in tiny living. And all the goofy millennials and Zoomers are buying into tiny living. So this will lead to the post-industrial society, as you can imagine. The technocratic post-industrial society. I'm glad that's still working. But I cannot read. I'm going to have to go into figuring out how the Streamlabs, because I can't even read the comments as they're so small and they don't stay up. But at least we got it working. So shout out to Jackson, R-A-P-E-R. I cannot even say your last name. Gasp at what an awful last name, R-A-P-E-R, you have. Holy cow. But shout out for those fractions of Trump bucks that you sent me. All your Trump bucks are belong to me. When my hedge fund achieves dominance, what's up? 300. We're almost to 400 nerds. Look at that. Almost to 400 nerds. When my hedge fund achieves dolphin dominance as I'm not a whale. I'm not a Bitcoin whale. I'm a Bitcoin dolphin because I'm out of the closet. When we achieve that dominance, then we can take over the world. So we're going to have a good world takeover. That's what we're doing here. And I will install myself as the Kwisatz Haderach. For he is the Kwisatz Haderach. The universe is super being. And how can this be? Because he is the Kwisatz Haderach. Shout out to David Lynch. Dune. David Lynch. Shout out.